What's good, y'all? It's Just for Kicks 2 and 2 here, and I'm here with another sneaker review. It's been a while since I've done a sneaker review. I've been focusing on like video logs and tech closet stuff like that. I thought I'd come back and do another sneaker review real quick. Go over another personal favorite of mine. Let's go straight right into it, and it is the KD III. I'm gonna read off the box specs for you. Nike Zoom KD III, size 11. Colors are Team Red, White, and Del Sol. Style code is 417279, and the color code is 600. That is the Redskin colorway. If you haven't noticed, I chose to do this sneaker review outside. Reason being, I look at a lot of people's YouTube videos, and I realize when you're outside, you see the shoe a little better, I would say. You see the shoe a little better. You actually see how the color would look on the outside, you know what I mean? So this is one of my favorite colorways of the KD III. So as you know, I usually go by personalization first, Nike and the signature athletes personalization on the shoe, and then I go on the spec details about the shoe. So let's start with personalization at the sole. You have the 5 Thunderbolts on the outsole, obviously because he plays for the Thunder. Then you also have the KD logo right here. You also have the zoom window right here, Nike zoom window, where you see the zoom unit and the forefoot. You also have his mother's logo right there, the WP. You also have, actually, a lot of people didn't realize this was signature detailing here, but you see right here in this area, they're piano keys. It's because KD loves music, so they put piano keys over here in the sole. And another signature detail a lot of people didn't figure out is on the Phylon midsole, the exposed Phylon midsole, you'll see BF62 all through here. It's very, very small, so if you have a pair, you can check it out at home. But it says it there. It also says it here, BF62. What that stands for is Barry Farms 62. He scored 62 points at a famous legendary game over there at Barry Farms. You also have the 3 stars for DC, obviously. And that's pretty much it for the signature detailing on the outsole. We'll go up to the midsole. You have Seat Pleasant on the medial side of the outsole wrapping up onto the upper. You also have Nike Zoom on the outrigger. And that's pretty much it for the midsole and the outsole wrapping onto the upper. Let's just continue with the upper. Obviously, you have Flywire over here. You have the Nike swoosh here as well. You have the KD logo here on the tongue with the hole through the D. I'll get into that, the function of this a little bit later. And then in the back, some more personal details. The 4 buttons, the KD 35. KD likes video games, so they made it like in the shape of a PlayStation controller. You know how it has a triangle, square, X, circle, just like that pattern. So it looks like a game controller buttons. And you also have here, I have to untie it so you can see it. A lot of people didn't realize this signature detailing as well. It says, designed and engineered to the exact specifications of Kevin Durant behind the floating arch strap. A lot of people didn't realize that was there. I mean, there's also the insole, KD on the insole. But that's about it for signature detailing. I don't see anything else. I usually go by what I see on the shoe. I've seen some people say that, you see how he has 3 perforations right here? Obviously, because it's for the 3, but then you see the actual 4th one. This doesn't actually count as a perforation, it counts as an eye stay. So people say just these 3 count, and this one doesn't, but it stands for KD's signature shoe. I don't know how true that one is, but it would make sense. Let's get into the specs of this shoe. And we're gonna start at the outsole. As you see complete herringbone traction from toe all the way down to heel. On the outrigger, you have the textured pattern over here. It's like a curve over the outrigger. What that's for is when you're curling around an opponent, or you know what I mean, when someone sets a pick, you run around them. It's easier to make that transition around them. Also, the outrigger adds obviously lateral support. Then you also have over here, you see the exposed Phylon. The reason why they exposed the Phylon here is to reduce weight. They pretty much cut the rubber from the outsole and reduce the weight, obviously, by cutting the outsole off, and you only see the midsole. It doesn't sacrifice function or anything, so it's kind of smart on their part. Then you also see there's a modified Y split here. You see how it has the flex grooves here? They're not actual flex grooves because your heel doesn't flex, but what it's called, it's a Y split. Usually it's just one line here and then two lines like diagonally, so it looks like a Y. Distributes the pressure on each sector, the 3 sectors, but since this is modified, there's more sections to actually apply the pressure on. Even though KD doesn't land too much on his heel, they usually put it on all basketball shoes. And then you see the actual outsole wrapping onto the upper. It enhances stability during lateral motions. You see, obviously you drive, when you drive to the basket, you land like this, you push off. So it provides that enhanced stability. And that's pretty much it for the outsole. Before I get into the midsole, I could have sworn, me personally, that the KD III midsole was Cushioning. I always thought it was Cushioning. I had to look over a few tech sheets before I actually did this review to make sure of everything, and I found out that it was Phylon. It's kind of funny. I must have got it confused with the KD I and KD II that was Cushioning. But Phylon is the midsole material for the KD III. I know a lot of people said it is Cushioning, but it is Phylon. I've looked over Nike tech sheets as well, and it says it's Phylon. So if Nike says so, it is what it is.
One thing I did forget to mention about the KD is the actual shank plate. It is a TPU shank plate. It is exposed on the medial and lateral side of the shoe. Pretty much what the shank plate is it's for torsional rigidity. Pretty much a fancy way of saying twisting and turning motions. It is below the midsole and above the outsole. Pretty much so you don't torque your shoe out. So that's pretty much it for the shank plate.
And so we're gonna go on to the upper. Obviously, the upper is a synthetic leather. Obviously, Nike stopped using leathers around 2002, 2003. So real leather isn't used in shoes anymore. It's pretty rare when they do. You'll know the difference between real leather or not. But this is a nice synthetic leather. And then you have synthetic, obviously patent leather over here in the mid panels on both sides. Leather in the toe, fly wire over here in the forefoot area for lockdown. I don't know why they just put it here and not maybe in the panel, the mid panel. Maybe they're trying to keep the shoe around the $88 mark. But you have the floating arch strap on the medial side. Obviously, the tighter you tie your shoe in this area, the more lockdown you get. It'll wrap around your arch a bit more form-fitting shoe. Then you also have the strategically placed overlays on the shoe for more support. Obviously, they wrap the heel to keep your heel locked down. There is an internal heel counter, a TPU heel counter, to keep your heel locked down. And that's pretty much it for the upper's function. There's not too much around it, just that floating arch support. Then you go to the tongue. You got sandwich mesh tongue. It's really, really breathable. And again, we come to the KD logo with the hole in it. The reason why there's a hole in it, obviously, it makes it a bit easier to put on your shoe. Then we go to the collar package. The collar package is pretty, it's a little more stuff than a usual basketball shoe is, especially with these new stuff like Hyperfuse and stuff. It's appreciated when they actually put actual foam in the collar package because it feels real good. You have cushion lobes inside the heel collar. I don't know if you can see it, but it provides lockdown with the heel and the Achilles, so it's a comfortable form-fitting feel. Since KD doesn't really land on his heel, as you can imagine, he plays on his toes a lot, so his heel is always up. If you ever watch him, you'll see him play like this. This is the floor, he's playing like this. And what that is, if you do that in a shoe, usually your heel is a little off the footbed. With these lobes, it actually keeps your foot locked down to the footbed, so when you're like this, the shoe is up with you, and your foot isn't above the footbed. It's directly above the footbed. The insole is Ava. If you're gonna play in these shoes, I suggest you change this insole because this insole is crap. Just go look at my tech closet about insoles.
I forgot to mention that they added a layer of foam under the insole in the KD III to provide more comfort underfoot, just because you have an Ava insole. So as you can see, if you take out your insole from a couple of your shoes, most of them won't look like this. It'll usually be like a hard white material, but this is actually an extra layer of foam don't know if you can see me pressing into it, but it's an extra layer of foam to provide more cushioning underfoot. And then you can see beneath, you can see the white part. I don't know if you can see that white dot. That's where the actual footbed is, underneath that foam. Again, here are the lobes. I don't know if you could see it before, but here are the lobes for lockdown.
You also have a zoom unit in the forefoot area, pretty much to give you a low profile, high energy return. In the forefoot, obviously KD plays on his toes again, so they put the zoom unit in the forefoot. There is nothing in the heel, and that's pretty much it when it comes to technology in this shoe. I do like this shoe a lot. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave it down in the comment box. Subscribe up above. Follow me on Twitter at JustForKicks212, and thank you for checking me out.